Good afternoon and welcome to the SBLab Cloud demo. We are going to show you how to deploy nested cloud environments inside of SBLab. You can deploy KVM, VMware, or Xen server. We are going to use this. We're going to do this by the running of Ansible playbooks, and then the use of a zone create script that will populate the public and private and VLAN information from a database, so you don't need to have that information with you. Just a few things to start with. To use this environment, you need to have an OpenVPN account, a GitHub login details, so you can do a git clone, and a local SSH account on the Ansible server. The Ansible server is 10.2.0.20. If you do not have access to that Ansible server, or you don't have access to OpenVPN, please speak to Dagon or me, and we can organize those details for you. So let's get started. We are going to log into the Ansible server. There is a directory called Ansible root, and within that directory you'll see that there is the directories of all the users that have access to this box. The reason why we do this so that we can all test these Ansible scripts without having to interfere with each other. So I'm going to do a git clone of the ShapeBlue regression testing repo. Okay, it says it already exists, which is probably the reason why I've had it already. So then I just need to enter my username and password, and it'll do a git clone, and it will clone the directory. And as you see, there's a regression testing directory in here already. Okay, so there is a directory called Ansible in there, which now has your generate VM script and your deploy VM script. Okay, so to get this to work, to get Ansible to be able to connect to CloudStack, you need to set up your cloud.ini file. That is in your home Glen local, and it's a file called .cloudstack.ini. You just need to get your API key from the lab.shapeblue. So your API key and your secret, and you just update that. And the endpoint is the internal IP address of the lab, so it's 10.2.0.5, which is the same as lab.shapeblue.com. You need to do that first, and then once you've done that, you can create your first generate script. Well, run your first generate script. What the generate script does is it creates a inventory file with placeholders. That inventory file tells the deployment script what you want to deploy, and then once the deployment script is finished, the deployment script will repopulate that host file, that inventory file, with the IP addresses of the virtual machines that Ansible has created for you. So we are going to run these commands. I'm going to show them for you first. So the first command we're going to run is this one. It's the Ansible playbook generate. You'll see there's a whole bunch of environment variables. It's a KVM Cloud 1. That's the name of my environment that I want to create. You can be any name. What it does is it creates a project under that name. I want one management server. I don't want any DB servers, which means that the management server will house the DB server. I want a KVM type. I want a hypervisor type of KVM, which is -k equals K, If I want Zen server, I put X there. If I want VMware, I put a V there. And then how many hypervisors do I want? I want 2, so I want 2 KVM hypervisors. Primary and secondary parameters are 0 at the moment because those are future things that we're working on. And environment accounts is which account on my lab.shapeblue do I want to use to deploy this nested environment. Okay, so we're going to run that. We're just going to go here. There we go. We're going to run the exact same command you see on your screen. Let's just switch over to that screen so you can see it. Okay. Alright, I'm in the wrong direction. So it's Ansible root, KNW, exactly where you did the git repo, Ansible, and then I run the command. There we go. So it generates a inventory file for me with all the details of what I want to generate, what I want to create a KVM environment. If you open this file, you'll see there's a whole bunch of placeholders that will be populated once the deployment script is run. Okay, then the second command we are going to run is the Ansible deploy VMs. It's going to be so that basically what that'll do is Ansible will go off and log into CloudStack and basically deploy your nested environment, clean nested environment with KVM hosts and a management server, the DB server installed on the management server. Okay, so we're going to switch over here quickly so you can see, and here we go. We're going to put a timer on this to see, you can see how quick this is, how long it takes. And then what it does is it creates a project called KVM Cloud 1. So that's basically what you had put in your environment. So your environment variable is that. And then it goes and deploys your first management server, your KVM hosts. It'll install all the CloudStack packages. The default CloudStack packages is 4.5. You can change those parameters by adding an environment variable. So if you want to build your own packages that you may have built through Jenkins, you can also do that. So basically, now it's deploying the KVM hosts. So if you actually go into the SB Cloud, you'll see that it is, there it is. Okay. Whoops. Not nice, not very good. Okay. Let's go, just refresh the page because it's probably from a previous one. So basically it will go and it creates a project called KVM Cloud 1. Now it's taking its time. There we go. So you'll see this KVM Cloud 1, and you'll see that it is deploying. It has already deployed one management server and 2 KVMs. So let's go back to our Ansible server. So basically what it's done is now it is repopulating that host file, that inventory file with all the details, and now installing all the packages it requires on the CloudStack management server. Once that is done, then it'll kick off a zone create script, which will basically pull all the information from an environment database that we have that tells these scripts which IP addresses, public and private, and NFS mount points for your primary and secondary storage. So what we'll do is we'll quickly just pause the timer here so you don't have to see this whole thing generate, and we'll come back to it when it has got to a point where we can continue. Right, there we go. So we have what the Ansible playbook has done now is install the management server, the DB on the management server, install the KVM hosts. It has run the Cloud Stack database setup. It is so basically you have a clean Cloud Stack environment. So now what it is doing is it's running the zone create script, and to see what the zone create script is doing, you can get the IP address of the management server that you've just created. If you want to go up here, or actually it's actually just better to go into the SBLab, and you'll see there's the management server, and there's the NIC of it, so it's 213. So we're going to go back into my SSH session. I'm going to log into this management server that's just been created. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tail the log in the temporary directory. It's got the name of the environment you created, KVM Cloud 1, and it's a zone create script. And you'll see what it does is it uses CloudMonkey to deploy the zone. It basically creates all your networking. It uses the public and private IP ranges that it gets from a environment database that we have set up, so you don't have to worry about entering on any of those details. It then logs into the NFS server and creates a directory under the same name of the environment name that you have, which is this will be KVM Cloud 1, and it creates two primary storages and one secondary, so it'll allow you to test moving between SRs, and then it will, once that's all finished, it will seed the system templates for you, and then once that's done, it'll enable the zone. So you'll see what it's doing now is creating the VLANs. It's adding the first pod. It is now adding these two KVM hosts into the Cloud Stack management server. We will just pause this. Well, we'll let it run for a bit. This takes a bit of time. Okay, so it has added the KVM host for you. It has added the two storage primary pools. It's added the secondary storage, all the information coming from the environment database, and now it is now seeding the system templates for you. And once that is finished, it will now deploy or enable the zone. Right, it's got to a point where it's added the templates or download the templates. It has now enabled the zone, and you can now log into your new Cloud Stack environment. We're just going to go here and go paste that, and then go 8080 /client. Right, so we're going to log into our new Cloud Stack environment, and you will see that the zone has been deployed for you. It is now starting up the system VMs, so your console VM and your secondary storage VM, and it is also just downloading the Cloud Stack small template that comes standard with the Cloud Stack management server. So if you click on environment, you will see that you have, let's start up here, you have one zone created, one pod, one cluster, two hosts, 4 primary storages, so it's 2 NFS storages and 2 local, one secondary storage, and you'll see your system VMs are now starting up. And that's it. There we go. Your system VMs are up and running. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for spending the time to listen to this video. And if you have any questions or would like to know more information, please either contact me or Dag, and we'll be happy to help you out there. Thank you for your time.